Do you have difficulty spelling words correctly, or trouble reading aloud or comprehending when someone reads to you? Or maybe you feel like sometimes struggle with ADHD-like symptoms, such as being easily distracted or unorganized in a classroom atmosphere? If any of these things apply to you, then you could be showing characteristics of dyslexia. According to the International Dyslexia Association, it is now estimated that as much as 15 to 20% of the population has some characteristics of dyslexia. And if you break that down, it's roughly 1 out of every 5 people. Since scientists and educators are just now realizing how common and widespread dyslexia is, that means a lot of people have struggled without knowing or having the chance to get some help. Scientists have also been looking into different subtypes of dyslexia to better help people who have varying needs. It's also been found that it is common for a parent to have a child or children who also have the learning disability as well. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle when it comes to dyslexia because it is so much more than the common misconception of people reading backwards. According to the Arkansas Dyslexia Resource Guide, dyslexia is a specific learning disability that is neurological in origin. So you can see where a typical reader has different parts of their brain that light up, whereas the dyslexia reader has the comprehension part, but not the stuff to retain the information. It is characterized by difficulties with accurate and fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. Some other markers are difficulty learning or recalling letters and sounds, being able to find exact words and replacing words with vague things like stuff or things. Poor or illegible handwriting, and requiring many repetitions to learn something new. Dyslexia can also show similar symptoms with ADHD, such as being very easily distracted, overactive, or fidgety, and being inconsistent with class and homework. The latest research on dyslexia through the National Institutes of Health and the International Dyslexia Association has found that dyslexia affects 20% of Americans and 15 to 20% of the entire population. Not all people with markers will qualify for special education, but they are likely to benefit from some systematic, explicit instruction in reading, writing, and language. The learning disability can occur in people of all backgrounds and intellectual levels. In addition, dyslexia runs in families, and dyslexic parents are very likely to have children who are dyslexic as well. Dyslexia is not something you can outgrow because it is a neurological learning disability. It is also something that should not be ignored. Studies show that up to 90% of juvenile offenders have learning disabilities, and up to 50% of adult inmates are functionally illiterate and have undiagnosed or ignored learning disabilities. Dyslexia is by far the most common learning disability, and it is possible to train the brain to comprehend and function normally through intervention. Being dyslexic is not related to intelligence levels, and it is not a label of low IQ. It is a neurological disorder that can affect people everywhere. Dyslexia does not affect one gender or race more than another, and it is not something that can be outgrown. Dyslexia can be diagnosed and intervention can be started as soon as a child is introduced to academics such as reading, writing, and language. Dyslexia is extremely common, and through intervention, it is completely possible to overcome and succeed in every aspect of life.